It used to be hard to find the exact auto parts you needed, and that meant spending a lot of time at swap meets. It's a different game now when you can order exactly what you need from eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts, so you can always find the right fitment. Spend less time searching and more time building with the eBay Motors app or visit ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
At Giant Eagle, we've always loved our perks. Now we're excited to welcome you all to the future of loyalty with My Perks. There's no math, less rules, and more perks. 50 perks equals $1 off your total, and there are no limits. Plus, you earn perks even when you redeem, so you're always building rewards towards free gas and groceries. Guests who earn the most perks can now unlock My Perks Pro, and pros get even more pumped up savings. Visit gianteagle.com/myperks to switch today.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. This is the second time having to do this. I botched and missed the first 2 minutes of the first recording, but we're good now. So what's going on, Rich? Again?
Chilling, man. Everybody that wasn't here the first time, we are wrapping up the, FOH draft. We'll talk about it in a couple minutes. Coming off Christmas week, was chilling. I was out of town, putting down lots of wine, learning a new tolerance that I may have. Shouts out to JML in the comments, Jeremy, Sam, Zach, everybody that's in the comment section. If I miss you, y'all got to leave more comments so I see your names. So, what's up with you, man?
Not too much, like I talked about a second ago. Just low-key Christmas. Didn't watch any sports for whatever reason. Didn't watch any fake sports. Ended up catching up on Rampage the next day. It was just a chill weekend. Really, to be honest with you. Alex was down here. I don't know if you ran into him.
I did not. I was out of town. So, He came, I left.
Oh, okay. So y'all avoiding each other? Or I'm just joking. Okay. So, Sunday, I was out hanging out with him, actually. We went to this restaurant. I was outdoors sitting, so I went out there and chilled with him and Alicia. So, it was good catching up with them, and I was talking to him as far as, I gotta start doing a lot more of these catch-ups, given what's happening with COVID, and given how it's really good for me just to stay, where I'm at and not, reach out to people. So I gotta get on my horse. We'll talk about that off air, but I definitely gotta get on my horse for a lot of this stuff that's coming up. Let's probably over the next year and a half. So, So anyway, Pro Wrestling World, man, we missed 2 weeks. We missed one of the best matches of the year. Covering it live. We missed out on that good, what is it called?
Good traffic?
Yeah, traffic. That's the word. I was thinking of something involving search engine optimization. Or
SEO.
Yeah, I missed out on that. We missed out on that too. Yeah, man, I don't know where you want to start exactly.
Before we do, I want to start with talking about the FOH draft. If you guys are hearing this show and you have not heard the FOH draft yet, make sure you guys check it out. There will be a link attached to this show. Jeremy did an awesome commercial with some audio previews of some of the stuff we were talking about. We had a great time. Those of you guys that donated, shout out to you guys. And those of you who have yet to donate have, Basically, get on it. What you waiting for? We need donations, gifts, donations. Check out it's a wildest show of the year. We're drunk on air. This is not me basically having a little sip of wine, going on the show. This is straight, yeah boy, straight goose. On my end at least, I had a lot of fun. James, what did you think about the FOA's draft this year?
I thought it was a good show, like they normally are. It was fun to see, us four hanging out and more or less talking noise or whatever else. But I did mention while we did believe everything we said on that show, it is interesting to given our journeys with pro wrestling, that we're a lot less. We're watching a lot better wrestling, so there's a lot less to complain about. If we were still diehard covering Raw and SmackDown weekly, that show could go 5 hours. It could. So it's interesting to note. I had wrote out. I think we missed it, but I had wrote out the over amount of draws in Stardom, and we didn't even get to that.
There were a couple things that just came out unscathed by accident, like Samoa Joe. And the injury status, I would have fired on that. Dominic Mysterio, somehow his name didn't even come up. I would challenge people that have heard it to re-listen to it again and then write down just the most obscure names that you could think of that came up, because there were people I was tracking it in real time, and I can't believe this somehow got in here, or this wrestler or something like that. But other people just came out unscathed, but it's the luck of the draw, I guess.
Yeah, so like Rich said a second ago, appreciate everybody that's listened so far. Appreciate everyone that's donated. Yeah, man, it is a fun show to do every single year. I don't know, man. Going forward, I wonder what it's going to be like next year. I wonder what new hell is going to be brought upon us in the pro wrestling scape next year with, online rhetoric and all that kind of stuff that was going to cause confusion. So there's always that part.
Speaking of causing confusion, WWE, fresh, just when you start looking at the run sheet and you're like, man, this is a little light, this week, this, a gift, has just been bestowed upon us. Apparently, there's a report, according to Fightful, they were saying that WWE apparently is about to stop or they're about to stop requiring COVID-19 tests for the wrestlers. Immediately, people began speculating whether they were trying to kill Roman Reigns. This fresh on the heels of them having this outbreak where they're having to rush Edge to Madison Square Garden so he can main event that 5,000 seat drawn building, shooting strays. And they, Seth Rollins has come out and said he is positive on COVID. You got to think that puts Becky into play, who also kind of got pulled. It was a Raw house show at Madison Square Garden. I believe Big E got pulled. Just a lot of people they were, pulling because, of course, they got their day one show in Atlanta, and who knows, if that whole thing's going to go down. I don't think this is smart. So essentially, they are back to a pre-test, pre-vaccine world, essentially in WWE. I know they like to go turn the clock back when it comes to the wrestlers, bringing the old people back and bringing back, their idea of wrestling and the new generation and always going to old ideas. But I didn't think they wanted to start over for COVID. I didn't think that was, the way they was going to go.
Well, no one cares about COVID anymore, Rich. So out of sight, out of mind, right?
It doesn't exist.
Most like we are a post-racial society, we are post-COVID as well. We are past those things. We don't even what deaths?
Yes.
What hospital beds? Right?
Everyone's back in the arenas. People are living their lives. They're rejecting fear.
Right. What science? So, yeah, man, it's wild.
What are they doing?
They don't care, man. And to be honest, they would have never stopped and got off the road if not for being told they could run WrestleMania in Raymond James Stadium in 2020.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's kind of par for the course. It's sad, but I mean, this is a sick, sad world, in the words of Daria Morgendorfer. So, yeah, man, like, that's kind of where we are. They don't want to. Look, ain't no tests, won't be no positives.
Yikes.
Outrageous logic.
Look, this is literally Trump logic. Like, this is what he was saying when, if there are less tests, there will be less. This is literally what he was saying.
Yeah.
People have often talked about Vince McMahon and Trump and, essentially how they're a mirror. Well, what do you think this is? Sam, brings up a good point. WWE fought so hard, for essential work status, for this. And it's, I saw it and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, I immediately sent this a swerve and I was like, what? Bro, what the fuck? And he was like, hey, man, he's like, nothing surprises me anymore. And, Swerve been in the game for years and years. Sometimes I feel bad for Swerve, right? I'll send him some shit and he'll hit me with that response. Like, he's hit me with that before. Like, nothing surprises me. It's just, you've seen everything with, like, this fucking business. Like, it's just... And, like, I don't understand how they want to operate. Like, they want to bring the sick in. Like, they're really trying to be all-inclusive, like Joe Gacy, Yeah. The WWE, yikes. So, I imagine, like many other things, Tony Khan is going to see this and do the immediate opposite. Like, I would imagine.
I mean, I don't know why he would stop testing. Tony Khan. I don't know why anyone stopped testing outside of
it, because like people are like theorizing like this is like the way the NFL is going. Like, what's going on with that? Did you catch wind of like what is going on with the NFL?
I have no idea. I cannot tell you what the NFL is doing, but I
can tell you about the NBA though. Like they're in a crisis.
Right? They should suspend play. They're not, but they should, and they don't want to. Why?
Ain't nothing more important than the moolah. Diamond chains.
For the love of money. What song about money do you want?
I will find one right now.
Money, cash, hoes, money, cash, hoes. But like what do you think it's about?
So the OJ is for the love of money.
Yeah. I mean that's all it's about, man, and
clip that. Those of y'all on the stream, y'all hearing the sound of Bone Thugs and Harmony on the stream.
Please tell me they played this during our Versus.
Yes.
Okay. Because if not, I don't know why you here.
Okay. Do you remember when Dr. Dre remade that shit? That shit was hard. Like,
yes. On the Compton album, yes. I listened to that probably in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Sam says the cricket down here is pretty close to getting called off because the players' family members are getting COVID. Man.
Y'all handling stuff different than we are.
Omnicron fears Vince.
I'm sorry, what?
Omnicron
What's
fears
Omnicron?
Vince.
You mean that Omarion?
Yeah, that Omarion. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, man. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, we spent I guess close to 12 minutes on this. Yeah. Like it's more,
more WWE trying to win most disgusting promotional tactic.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. Another one, just look.
Hey,
getting shots up as the buzzer's going down.
Look, in case budget cuts wasn't enough, they are on there. Monte Ellis. These shots were getting put up. May not be efficient, but
volume shooter, real
up,
volume shooter.
So I guess we got to do it. Cody wins the TNT Championship from Sammy Guevara. I didn't see the match, so I have.
When are you going to watch the match?
Whenever I guess it pops up on my Sling or whatever. I didn't check.
Okay,
but I was not avoiding it.
Okay, I thought you were just like, fuck this match. I don't care if it was 7 stars.
Well, I already knew he was going to win, so I wasn't going to like go out of my way on Christmas to watch it because I was like busy or whatever. But I got the news, of course. Big Sammy Guevara fan, didn't like it from that perspective. Basically, looking at everything that happened with him and Malachi Black and Pac and Andrade, and I'm like, well, what was the point of all that? I thought, Malachi Black was weaker in the outset. All he did was fucking thoroughly dominate this man, essentially to the end. No journey was taken, nothing. It's like, I don't understand. Like, apparently, bringing in the Good Hand Mafia for Sammy to go through wasn't enough for people. And it was like, all he did was perform, no fault of his own. Every one of those matches, went off to a certain degree. I think a lot of people are bringing stuff in with Sammy that doesn't factor into the actual decision-making of the company. But I don't know why they decided to go back to Cody. And I don't know, man. Like, I don't get it. Obviously, I was not happy. I think this whole character or whatever is happening, it sucks, and he needs to turn heel. People insist that he already is a heel in this Homelander type thing that he's doing. All right, cool. Like, I don't know what that is. But
this is not some high. This is not a TV show with metatextual drama at the forefront. This is professional wrestling. It's fake fighting. So when people say that he is already the top heel, yeah, he is, because he's first getting booed because what they've been trying has not been working, and now they need to turn him heel. So from my perspective, I'm at a point where, like, I thought it was a great match. He needs to turn heel in a declarative way, not some. He's John Cena in his prime, because John Cena was only a babyface still, because if they turned him heel, it would have hurt their box office. It would have hurt their merch sales. Cody Rhodes not in a position to where if he turns anything or do anything, it's going to affect AEW's bottom line by 20%. He's not that level of star for the company or promotion. I'm sorry. So not say anything bad about Cody, but this is not the same thing. Like, one was about making lots of money. The other one is just being stubborn or thinking he's smarter than he actually is. So yeah, it was a great match. Quite frankly, this was the best match singles regular rules match he's had all year. It took someone to have to do a double springboard double springboard 450 to the floor to get it done, but it happened. It was a great match. I'm gonna guess
that wasn't Cody that did that springboard.
No, it was not.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like
where does this leave this guy? Like, it's like you gotta go get it like the Red Cross now, right? Then you go just film the vlog. Like what? Like,
hey, I mean,
people seem to be painting him as this failure now. Like, it's like, what do we do with this? Like, I don't know,
man. Like, granted, for the most part, aside from the TNT title, the champions have long reigns. Except for the TNT title. So, that's fine. I don't know. Hopefully they have somebody in mind for who's going to take the belt off of Cody. Right? Like, if it's Jungle Boy, great. If it's Eddie Kingston, great. But short of that, this is one of the weirder things Tony Khan's ever done.
Yes, because this doesn't line up with like almost anything. Like as far as like what this person was doing before they were winning the championship, like even when Sammy won, right? There was foreshadowing throughout Miro's shit where either A, he was getting weaker, he was fucking with Sammy's friends, so it makes sense for Sammy to step in. So the deal with, they're trying to mix the men in the year in with this, with Cody, I feel like it's all going to just get more confusing. And I felt like, I told James that if Cody is in 2 weeks fighting against the men of the year, I'm going to be uncontrollable on this show. Like I'm going to just completely like lose it. And, I saw people with the memes having a little fun and all that with, the Cody thing that they're trying to pretend is good or whatever.
What thing? I haven't seen anything.
Oh, they're like, this is genius. This is the roller coaster. This is the American hero. They're just going, doing that troll shit. But I see this and I'm like I look at the roster, right? And I almost want to do Cody Rhodes or on this, like, like how many more talented guys, could this have been? Could we have got Sammy Guevara and Adam Cole into something? I think that would have been excellent. There's a lot of guys that were just hanging around, and now for it to just go back to Cody, someone that is not the wrestler that a lot of other people are, and I feel like this is a self-created situation. With the whole boo thing, and Jeremy had a question. Like he said, do you think they switched the belt to try to capitalize on Cody's polarizing crowd reactions? Personally, I think they tried to switch the belt to ensure people would watch that Christmas show that they did, and like to make sure, be like, oh yeah, there's a title change coming, and of course it gets out through spoilers, but you want to see how it's all done. So like that's what I thought. Similar situation to AJ Styles, them getting the news out that he was going to win the belt on that taped show from Jinder Mahal, where they were trying to.
Oh yeah. I thought I thought you were talking about like the U.S. title with Kevin Owens and MSG. That was like earlier in the same year, wasn't it?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. They're doing a lot of that with AJ Styles.
Sam had a long comment too. He said John Cena in his prime sucked. He did massive damage to so many heels he faced because the audience ended up getting behind someone that's character should be booed, which messed up the alignments.
Right.
We already saw this with Andrade getting cheered when he should be a rich, entitled prick beating down on lesser fortunate heroes. I have a feeling if Andrade was beating on Sammy Guevara, he wouldn't have that problem.
Right. And that's what we mean when people say like it's a thing is like he's quote unquote polarized whatever you want to say to justify the fact that like this person not getting the reactions that are intended. So
bizarre world, it's all that shit.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, and Sam knows this, but I think the thing is you can suffer through it sucking to watch. And that's the thing why I like watching Charlotte and watching Roman over the years, over the last 5 years or so, or 6 years at times has stunk because like they have been so bad at like the world around them that they're in that they're so busy on putting them at the forefront that like people started obviously bucking back at that. And then their response is, well, that will happen with John Cena. It's like, but Roman and Charlotte, like, they're not that level of draw to justify doing that. When it's John Cena, you just take it on the chin because like,
so you gotta eat it because it's like they're vegetables you don't like, but they still make you healthy.
Right. As opposed to like what's happened with Cody, where it's like if Cody goes on another hiatus to do more filming for a show, like the ratings are going to be just fine. Like we saw that. We saw the pay-per-view that he wasn't on and it did his best number they ever done. Like this is no knocking against Cody because there's like literally all but like 4 people that are like this in the company where like they don't show up. Well, shit, honestly, 1. CM Punk's like the only person in this that's that can't be taken out of this mix and it like affect everything on a huge scale. Like, we don't have Moxie right now. We don't have Kenny Omega right now, and they're still okay. So, yeah, like, that's kind of where we are right now. And there's no knocking against Cody, but it's like, if that's the case, why are you doing this unless you have a purpose? And like, putting the belt on somebody like Cody at this point, I see the purpose is you have somebody in mind of who's going to be next, and you don't want to be Sammy to get to that point. And that's fine. I wish that I knew who it was. I mean, because there's names that come to mind, like I mentioned with
And then they might have like a host of debuts coming, going into next year. Gargano, Swerve, Lee, like all those guys are coming in. Like
it felt to me like, I mean, there's also Battle of the Belt, so who knows if he gets automatic rematches? Like, wins right the fucking back, right? Who knows? But it felt to me like Cody has really nothing going for him, so like, let's make him the champion so he's interesting. And quite frankly, I think that Cody is one of the best talkers in the world, so he doesn't need the belt to be interesting. Like just have him have a feud with fucking Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston's not doing anything right now.
Yeah.
On a big level, like obviously he's doing the stuff with Garcia and the Buffalo Boys, but or the Canadians.
Fight Jericho again, like
yeah, Jericho's not on air either. Jericho ain't been on air of late either. That's another example of people like this thing is kind of self-sufficient and kind of running itself. The only person that's really keeping this thing in that kind of way where it's like this person is super essential is pretty much CM Punk. So yeah, like, and then I also saw Meltzer mentioned this, and I didn't listen to all of Meltzer's Observer.
I haven't heard any of his audio, but his analysis on Cody, I feel like, has been just wildly off base. It's like one of those defend Charlotte.
He didn't defend this.
Analysis.
He didn't defend this. He was like, I wouldn't have taken off of Sammy. That's exactly what he said. So I listened to it, because they put clips on YouTube, so I listened to a YouTube clip. I was just on YouTube and didn't feel like playing like whatever I probably going to end up watching like some synopsis of some like 400-page Marvel superhero comic book event. But I was like, I ain't got an hour for that. I got 8 minutes. Throw that on. So threw that on, and he was like, yeah, it might have to do with the fact that like network synergy because of the fucking show he does with Snoop and Rosario Dawson, because it's coming up a new season. Like, it might just be a thing where like add some shine to it. Make a new champion as you go to TBS and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, yo,
that's a horrible, like,
I wouldn't be doing belts on marketing ploys. Like, yeah, that's how you
devalue your belts.
Yeah.
And that like takes like, because I feel like people believe in the TNT title, right? It has like, the original Open Challenge on it. It has Brody Lee on it. It has Darby on it. It has Miro. Like, it has Sammy like doing that stuff. And then when you start switching belts almost for reasons that don't even come close to feeling merit based.
Well, it felt more like he was reaching for explanations because there was no good one in particular.
Yeah,
that's what it seemed like. And he was like, "But I'm not going to bury Cody, but I'm also going to be like, and I'm also not going to acknowledge it, like, Cody's had a relatively shitty year, given his status, but like, I'm going to say like the Sammy Guevara thing, like I wouldn't have taken it off if it was too early." And that's kind of where he left it. He was trying to be diplomatic about it, which is like code for he knows this shit sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Cody, you're 3-time TNT champion. So, I have other expanded thoughts on it. Like, and, it goes back to him basically, putting the stip on himself. And I think it's, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to share that with the public right now. But it's there. Like, I wrote it in the AEW Discord in the Social Suplex thing. I don't know if it's, whatever. Check it out if you're interested.
We'll probably have to talk about it like for year-end stuff anyway eventually. So you may as well save it.
Yeah. But I woke up one day with a revelation. Let's just say that. So Hangman Page and Bryan Danielson went to a 1-hour draw at Winter is Coming, and watching this fucking match, I was like hanging on the edge of my seat. I thought it started a little slow, and I was I was getting kind of frustrated. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I didn't consider the fact that it could go an hour until probably like the 40-minute mark, because
really
it had flown by. Yeah. And I was like, I just thought that, I was just into the match. Like, it was a good match. And, they did the 60-minute draw, match of the year level wrestling. It was like, it was phenomenal. Like, and it's, and I'm struggling through my words here, but it was just like, like, I love this. Like, this is something that I just feel like there's no company in America that could do this. And I said the draw thing, like, I said the draw stuff was coming to America in the middle of the summer. Like, once it was happening in Stardom, I could just see it just washing over. Like they talk about the Soviet, like, and like the red wave, like essentially it was washing
communism
over. Yeah. Like, that's what like was washing over. I seen the tidal wave coming towards America with the draws and all that shit. Like, I knew it was on deck or whatever. I thought it would actually be like Hangman being the victim of a draw, essentially. But Bryan, they've done it twice with him. Once in a title situation, once not in a title situation. And we kind of, we didn't have this context at the time, and I think this actually benefits us. We didn't know they were going to do the rematch on the first TBS show. I'm ready to see it, and, by the end of the match, I was rooting for Hangman, which was like kind of strange, because like the last 5 minutes I was like, win, motherfucker, like, he's right, he's all yours for the taking. Like, you fucking survived, and you somehow got, you hit him with the buckshot alert, or you were essentially like when he cut off the flying knee into the that movie does, like, over his back and shit. Like, it was like,
yo, Deadeye.
Yes, Deadeye.
Okay.
It was like, finish him now, like, finish him, like Mortal Kombat style. And it was a really great match. Like, will definitely be on my match of the year list.
Yeah, it'll definitely be on my match of the year list in the top 10. I thought this was, from a rewatch perspective, I think the Omega match was better. Because I think it was more competitive back and forth, and more physical. But as far as just like the story of watching Daniel Bryan put on a fucking clinic, or Daniel Bryan, so whatever one you call him, put on a fucking clinic, and Hangman Page selling his ass off. I thought he sold perfectly, except for one spot for like a whole entire hour. You know how hard that is? Like. So yeah, man, I thought it was a great match. It's one of the very best matches of the year. And if you want a person that is that gives credit for being able to put down and go and be compelling for longer, I can see why people think this is, or people feel like this is like for them like a match, a super duper top 5, maybe even number 1 match of the year contender. For me, it wasn't, because like I don't really have the patience for an hour-long wrestling match.
I want to talk about that too. I've seen everyone else say that the commercials hurt the match for them. Ironically, I'm the opposite. I think the commercials helped the match for me, because it was like, man, like, it was just like one like chapter in a book, essentially, like just turning over like every time, and I got to kind of like sit and think about what I just saw a little bit, and then get back into it, essentially. Like, I don't think I've seen anybody with that kind of take on it.
So I have the, I guess, the UK copy on a hard drive right now. Whatever, come get me, whatever. But yeah. So I haven't rewatched it yet. I haven't had the time. I'm going to when because I'm pretty sure I have like my dozen, all around the world top, 15 favorite matches of the year, and when I'll go through and watch them, and I rank them, this will definitely crack my top 10, but where exactly to put it. But when I watched it originally, the commercial breaks just like commercial breaks, and I was just like, okay, whatever, grab my Rubik's Cube and start playing with Rubik's Cube while the commercial's going on or whatever else. There was one point where I want to say it's like around the 45-minute mark where they went to like either I think probably like the second to last commercial break, and I literally looked at my screen like, no, don't go! What the fuck? So for me, like, the commercials don't really, in a way, it reminded me of, because one, personally, the way they were wrestling, I was like, they're wrestling really slow to start. And then once they got to like the 30-minute, like the half-hour mark, just about, like 8:30-ish, 8:31, and like they went to commercial break, I was like, oh my God, they're going an hour. Mm-hmm. So I knew then, I just settled in from there. So, yeah, so like when I rewatch it, like I'll be able to see what I missed or whatever else. And so I think it'll be better. But I think just in the perspective of, it's really hard to be able to go out there an hour at a high level. So for me, especially when it's a match that was that one-sided. Yeah, so for me, I think on a rewatch, I think I know what I liked it originally as. Like, I have a pretty good idea that if I watch it again, like, depending on how these commercial breaks go, I can like it more. I can also like it less. So, either way, it was a fantastic match. And like, I think going into it, we were talking about like, let's see what the Hangman can do. And you had mentioned like, you want to see over you want to see over 4.5 stars. And I said to you, it's like, hey man, he's shown improved enough, except for when they are having him out there with Matt Hardy. He's shown improved enough that he's up for the task, and he went out there and he had the best match of his career, arguably. So, and from the singles perspective, because obviously the freaking match with the Young Bucks a whole nother thing. But yeah, I thought it was fantastic, and it didn't draw a good rating, but like, I bet this next one will.
Yeah, I think the next one's going to do pretty well. You got to look at the increased interest on the show the next week. Yeah, I was kind of baffled by the number, and I was, I don't know if I was in freak out mode essentially, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what is this? Like, and I was, thinking about, well, maybe they should have won with Darby, and I was like, Darby had no problem popping, numbers and stuff like that. I had to, I was talking, a lot of noise in the Voice of Wrestling Discord in the AEW section that day. So you're adding to the toxicity online. Oh yeah. I engage in the toxins. This pain ass nigga. When necessary. I'm gonna just ask stuff that people ain't thinking about. Darby ain't had no trouble with Ethan Page. I was in. It was like, I know the storyline that was set up. Like, obviously, to get the Hangman Page, but what if they were invested in this other dude that was already showing improving? Like, that's what I was thinking at the time. But I didn't think this was like a panic and take it off him move. I was same. You should not do that. But this, that only make it worse. Like, it's a question to ask. Like, and I think it's a legit question to ask. And it's like, all right, let's, there were a lot of money matches thrown out the way. And, I know Kenny Omega went and got surgery and, there were issues with him, but I don't think he was on death's door or anything. So, like, a lot of stuff was going through my mind. Like, hey, all these matches, like, were they just lit on fire? Like, the slow burn booking sometimes of the company, like, does that need to be modified? And, I think a lot of it was the oversaturation of wrestling from, all the companies, September and November and October. And it was like finally catching up in December. And they had a little bit better week this past week in the ratings. And I'm sure, once they do the move to TBS, shit'll be, on and popping again. But
you say the oversaturation, you mean like hardcore fans like watching Japanese tournament wrestling?
Like,
or what do you mean?
I just think like with like a lot of big shows in a short time period, a lot of like news stories all hitting at the same time, like the return of CM Punk, Bryan Danielson jumping companies,
Adam
Arthur
Cole.
Ashe Stadium, WWE in the Garden, SummerSlam, Adam Cole, NXT 2.0.
More releases. Where are these people going to go in 90 days? Okay, gotcha.
And like, you know how
2.0, watch it, please. We beg you.
Right. And then like that's before you even add in Japan and everything else. Like, and it's like, there's a lot of wrestling that wasn't going on before. Like if you can draw a line like after Money in the Bank, essentially, and then AEW with that July slate of shows where they were like 4 special shows, and then September, essentially when Punk and Bryan are reintroduced into the fold, and it was just a lot of whatever. But I think they'll be coming around the mountain when they go to TBS. Yeah, you would know better than I would as far as like historically how they do. Like let's say because now it's a 2-year tradition. Like this, winter is coming to the getting to the new year type of thing. Like basically what is happening like in December. Like because to be honest with you, you got the Hangman thing. You got like the champions are all doing stuff, but none of it is necessarily like, aside from the AEW world title, like the other champions aren't really doing much. Obviously, we have a new TNT champion, but like Britt, she's kind of like, all right, well, she's gonna face Riho. Is there any like, heated? No, because they don't let Riho ever talk or translate or stuff. Like, why do I feel like they pay for translate? Like they got to pay for translations for like what? Fuck that, because I don't get paid for translate. Yeah. Anyway, so you got that part. The Lucha Bros, they're having Phoenix is probably still hurt or whatever else, but the FTR thing had just wrapped up. It like they were headed towards the Lucha. I almost called them Jungle Source. Now I say the Lucha Boys. Like, nah, Jurassic Express. It seems like they're headed towards that. It seems like there also seem to be like a budding little thing or some small burn thing that's going on with Santana and Ortiz possibly as well with that. So like, yeah, I mean, they're kind of building up, and it seems like this stuff is tracking towards like more towards kind of like getting through to the next year as opposed to like we're doing something super interesting right now. So like I don't know what your opinion of what was on that and like its effect on possibly that match. Or do you think like that match was 1 hour, so it should have just did better? Period. I think it should have did better because like they put a lot into building it.
That's true. And it was at worst their second hottest thing.
Right, and it was like, all right, the audience grew throughout the match. So people were interested in it, but I felt like it should have just been more. There was like heavy competition that night, but like, I mean, this is the game. Like at this point, like there's always going to be competition from somewhere. So I would have liked to see a higher number. I'm definitely going to be looking at the next match, like to see like where it goes from there. Cause like, I'm going to hold them back to that. Like there's no reason they shouldn't get to 0.40 at least. In the rematch.
So that is going to be on the 5th, right?
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah. Like, it's going to be like, y'all go ahead and do y'all answer. Just like last year when they had, we're going to put Kenny and Phoenix on,
That's right. They did do that. They did. Yeah. It was like, they ain't afraid to compete. But my dude was like, hey man, like, I talked to you about this before, but like for the listeners, will you indulge me in like going through the schedule, the pro wrestling schedule over the next 2 weeks potentially?
It is
stiked, not stacked, stiked. All right, man. All right. So today is Monday the 27th. Now, I started this maybe sometime last month. I had said like I want to get more organized and know when this stuff was so that I can like figure out like how to fit in what I'm going to watch, whatever I want to watch for pro wrestling. Because like obviously I'm AEW and Stardom are like the automatic, got to watch them as soon as possible. But like the other stuff I got to try to fit in and try to make it in a way to where like I can do things besides just watch pro wrestling and have like a social life with my friends that I keep fucking like leaving behind to not like socialize because I'm just more fucking fake fighting to watch. So, yeah, I wrote this list and like it's pretty much anything that that has anything on it that I would even like consider watching, right? That's basic list. Like, am I going to watch all of Oz Academy's year-end show? No. But there's my Yuki match on there that I want to watch, and like maybe I'll check out whatever fuckery Ozaki Gun's up to. Maybe. Just maybe. So Monday Night Raw's today. Tomorrow, NXT 2.0. Wednesday. Stardom's Sumo Hall pay-per-view. Gonna be like at worst their second biggest show of the year, right? Yeah. It's gonna be a show of the year contender. Sealand's year-end show, Nanai's last show in Sealand before she goes freelance. Dynamite New Year Smash, and early Oz Academy's year-end show. Next day, Ice Ribbon Mania. SmackDown on Friday, Rampage New Year Smash. Saturday, Noah's first of the year show at Budokan Hall. It's going to have Kiyomiya versus Kino and Nakajima versus Shiozaki.
Man, that sounds great.
Right. And there's, I think Murray told me there's like Muto's going to be in either a tag match or a trios match. I can't remember which one, but like he said that could be really good if they carry him, which is like, why is he the champion? You got to carry him. Also, later on, WWE's first pay-per-view of the year, day one. That's all. That's the first week of this whole week of wrestling.
Migos.
Yes, Migos will be there. Is Stevie K going to be there?
The Hustle Gang going to be there.
Okay, Sunday, the rare day where there's nothing, but there's some NFL playoff football there, so whatever. Monday, Stardom's day show. Like, that's probably be on delay, but like that's their day show because they're going to do a day show, night show thing where the night show is going to be like where they do their 2021 awards. So that, and Monday Night Raw on the 3rd. The 4th, Wrestle Kingdom Night 1 in NXT 2.0. I don't know. I want to see the overlap of that crowd. People are going to watch both of those. That's going to be a weird one. Wednesday, Night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom in Dynamite. There will be overlap for that, definitely. Blank slate on Thursday. Friday, Rampage and SmackDown. Saturday, New Japan versus Noah in Yokohama. Oh, let's do this. New Japan versus quotation marks around New Japan versus Noah.
We didn't talk about that. We are about to talk about these Wrestle Kingdom scams that they're running.
We'll get to it. All right. Stardom's first Korakuen Hall of the year. Battle of the Belts. AEW. That's on Saturday. Then because it's early Sunday, it also be considered Saturday because of the time difference. Stardom's second Korakuen Hall show of the year. They're almost like treating like New Year's Dash, these Korakuen Halls on the 8th and 9th. So like there's gonna be people appearing. Like you already saw Julia, the super villain she is with her new sets of goons. Like they're probably gonna mass on them shows. And then and that's the whole slate for 2 weeks. Like that's 17 shows, not including the WWE stuff that I just mentioned. So in theory, really that's if you would throw on the 6 more shows, that's 23 shows if you include the WWE main roster stuff or WWE television stuff. I'm not watching that stuff, but still, like, cutting down to 17 and then from there, like, saying I'm going to cherry pick through stuff. If you are a fan of pro wrestling, these 2 weeks are the weeks to be it to watch high-level professional wrestling.
Indeed.
I can't wait till like the end of the 9th or whatever else, and I'm just sitting there for pro wrestling and I'm just ruined for like a month. I just can't wait. It's gonna feel like it's gonna be like watching the G1. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
So
come out here and give a Cody 3 3/4 star match 2 1/4. Can't wait.
I hope he has lost that belt by the time Revolution comes. So
we who would you like it to be? Who would you like the destination to be? We haven't really talked about that. Who would you like it to be? Now that it's done, who would you like the successor for Cody to be?
Fuck it. Swerve debuts and beats him for it. Like,
okay.
I'll go with that.
All right.
So, like, Sam says Eddie Kingston. I feel like I don't know. I don't want Eddie to win yet. Like, I want him to, he needs. I feel like more needs to happen to him. Like, he needs like his last time he got a shot at the belt was in
the end of full gear 2020, right?
Right. Like, he could win the TNT belt. They could, Hail Mary him for the world belt at some point.
That's what I was going to ask you, though. I was going to ask you, like, I don't know if you and Sam have the same trajectory for Kingston. Yeah. Like, because I think I've seen Sam say that he believes that he can be champion in like next 18 months. Huh?
Jeremy says Sting should be Cody.
Hold on.
Oh my god. Versus Shaq.
Oh no. Y'all bugging the fuck out. Alright, y'all gonna have Floyd yell at us. Stop this. So, alright, so for me personally, I thought that it would be a really nice track if, like, his crowning achievement is, I've said this to you before, if his crowning achievement is a TNT title, then that'd be awesome. And you build towards it or whatever else. So, like, I feel, so you mentioned, like, it might be too soon. Maybe. But then again, like, it depends on what you think is his ceiling, right? Like, I think his trajectory is, like, he's somebody that should be a tag champion with Moxley. He's somebody that should be TNT champion. He's somebody that should be on a frequent staple of AEW pay-per-views. But I think that he should probably fall short of ever being AEW World Champion. Maybe things change. Maybe he gets more over than I even imagined initially, and that could possibly happen. And if that happens, I'll reassess. But I think that's kind of where he is, and I think a lot of people think that he could be on top. So I think that comes down to what you think he is. So, like, if you're someone that thinks he could be champion in, like, 2 years, may as well go ahead and knock this TNT thing out right now, my brother. so yeah, so I was wondering where you thought he kind of was in his trajectory compared to, like, my expectation compared to, like, someone like Sam.
I'm on the TNT thing as well, but, like, I feel like pushing the TNT out as long as possible, and then like that's like, I don't know how many years you might have with Eddie Kingston, right? He's like 39 or whatever. Okay,
I had no idea how old he was,
and he has, like, he hard living on him. For as long as he's been on the indie scene, but I wouldn't be opposed to him getting, him getting to go watch one day with a world belt.
Read Sam's comment.
He said, "I don't think he will be, but I'm going to ride that train like Rich on that Ishii train." Look, we're going to talk about it now. So, Bruce also said, "I wouldn't mind seeing Trent taken from Cody." I gotta say this: Trent looks weird with his haircut, and I just can't get past, like, looking at him and thinking he's just a jag now.
He's also not as big as he used to be, and that's obviously because he hasn't been able to lift as much weight as he was before. So, like, we'll see how he feels back out eventually. And, like, I think Trent. I don't know. I think Trent is more of as a guy that, like, you put him in singles and he has good matches all the time. But, like, he's almost like in the Kazarian thing where it's like, if you put him in a tag match or you put him in a tag team, boom, you can make him a tag team champion no matter what. Easily.
He'll be fucking awesome.
Right.
Like, right. Then it's like, if he's a singles champion, it's like,
you don't give him. Yeah, it kind of don't seem like that makes sense right now. But I like Trent. I like Trent a lot. Like, I wish that him and Orange Cassidy were a tag team.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom. So we missed the card announcements, I believe, the last time for him taking that week off. And I think I'm looking at the cards, and then obviously they dropped the day 3 card. Man, I'm not excited, and I'm not gonna talk my way around it. I'm not gonna fake about it. All the issues that we've talked about of why they've gotten less coverage on this show still exist. Lack of fresh matchups. Them going to 3 days, and then the third day, the New Japan versus Noah thing, to me, completely falling flat and missing what people were expecting, what it felt like it was being marketed as. And just looking at it like, I don't understand how I get excited about Shingo and Okada again. Like, it's going to be great. My argument is not, hey, these matches are not going to be good or anything like that. We're probably still going to get a great fucking show out of all those guys, right? But, like, I'm looking for the freshness. I'm looking for something that's going to pull me in. Then I'm seeing the scams being run by New Japan with the Noah and all the tag team matches and all the pin eaters being tucked away in every match that you can see coming from a mile away. It reeks of bad politics and pro wrestling that no one should really fucking care about in Japan, because they're like trying to make sure the business doesn't collapse. People have gone on and basically talked about what did you expect and all this other stuff, and I'm like, I expected Wrestle Kingdom.
Right.
Then, like, the latest thing I saw this morning, Katsuyori Shibata, they announced that he's going to be in a grappling match, catch rules match or something like that, and there are no strikes allowed and all this shit. And then I was like, I saw somebody do a retweet. It was like, oh, so he's not back then. Like, and then I immediately like retweeted the same thing. Was like, so this is a scam being run essentially. Like, I don't know, man. I don't miss Shibata that bad to have to want to watch him roll around and hug somebody. I don't have that desire. I'm not begging, for them to give me this, because it's like, it's been 5 years. Y'all can let this man go. Like, if it's coming to this situation, like, to where they've got to completely like do a whole different, like, they got to pull out new rules for this man to fight. I'm like, I don't have any interest in it personally. Like, sorry. Like, I knew something was fishy when they didn't announce the opponent. And I kept insisting, like, why wouldn't they announce the opponent? And now they're doing all this other shit, and I'm like, I don't have this the same wish for Shibata to compete again. Like, if that's the case, keep his ass in the back. If we got to do all this shit and have other people come out and wrestle, because like his story's been told, he's done. Like, sorry, like, and if he's done, it's understandable he's done. His fucking head was cracked. Like, I don't like. I don't know, man. I don't need to see Shibata that badly. Like, if this is the case, like, we might as well get this man a garrote wire then and just tell him, it says he can't take no bumps and, he can't strike and kick. I'm like, hold on, Shibata can't kick? Like, what? Like, this is a fuck up. Like, this is like, and they keep intentionally releasing this information in these, like, almost cryptic manners where it's like, well, what do they really mean he can do? And what it sounds like is, well, the same thing he did with Sabre, where he was rolling around in gym shorts. And I'm like, I don't need it that bad.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think they're struggling for some type of thing that's new, and he hasn't wrestled so long that it's like, that can be a marquee match. Just put him on there. And also, we still don't know who his opponent is, right?
No. We do not.
Do people assume it's Ibushi?
I mean, at this point, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they're just in a really rough spot where like they have 3 shows and they needed to fill 3 shows, and so we ended up basically with like the New Year Stars first of the year shit for Noah, with Noah, where it's like all these tag matches and like nothing really is gonna really matter a week from now, but it was just a good start to the year. Wrestle Kingdom, they got stuff on it I definitely want to see, and I'm gonna watch it, but like it's a weird thing. Like they put Ishii in a singles match, and it's with Evil, so it's like, what the fuck? All right, great, fantastic, awesome. Yeah, it's a weird situation. Like it doesn't. I don't have the excitement for Wrestle Kingdom that I've had in prior years, obviously. So like you said, like, are there going to be match of the year contenders on these shows? I bet my bottom dollar there will be. I just think that it's a lot to ask to have after basically 20 matches in back-to-back days that like 3 days later, you're going to go out here, you're going to do a bunch of tag matches in a big arena and expect like it to be the heat. I'm not seeing it.
How people can't cheer.
Right. Right. So, I mean,
maybe
we're going to see.
Looking for a clearance for him.
Could be.
I've heard that, like, tossed about, but the news that just comes out doesn't inspire confidence at this point. Shibata has like done little things over the last like year and a half, doing the physical angles with Kenta and all that stuff, and he's taking a back bump in the ring, and I'm like, he obviously wants to wrestle, so I don't want to try to safety police the guy or anything like that, but I'm like, I don't know, man, like, if we got to do all this to ensure you can wrestle, like, it's not, like, I don't really share that same desire, like, to see this man roll around on the mat. Like, if he can't beat Shibata, like, I don't.
Well, I mean, depending on where they put him on the card, or because he's not like semi-main event or no shit like that, right?
It's like the bad thing is like he's already done the he's coming back, but it was like unadvertised. It was like with Sabre or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's not even like they can have like this inspirational moment or anything like that. He's already got back in the ring like unadvertised, and they sold no tickets based on it. And like they already got the news story of Shibata like doing a match, but like they are like basically WrestleMania 3ing this, like that never happened. Like, what do you mean? Hulk Hogan never slammed Andre the Giant before. Andre the Giant is undefeated. Like, what are you saying? Like, they have completely recast that. So I'm like, I don't understand how this doesn't stink. Like, and
it is.
Sam has a couple comments in there. Mm-hmm. He said, it would be awesome if he could wrestle, but why advertise him if he can't? He said, Keepin It Strong Style is going to have to introduce a Grift Award. Dylan says, I love Shibata to death, but man, it's fucked. Sam also says, bottom line is they said this was going to be a full match. No excuse for the false advertising. People sticking up for it or standing up for a lie.
Yeah, I agree. Because the main thing is, if you don't know if you can get the clearance, then don't advertise nothing, and then wait on the clearance, and then do the shit at Dominion. Mm-hmm. They'll be into it then too. They've been waiting for this guy to come back ever since he fucking ended his career.
Like, if people are this thirsty at the thought of grappling and catch and all this stuff, it's like.
I remember what I was going to say to you. You say, like, what kind of wrestling is this? And I'll be like, you know what kind of wrestling it is. This is pure rules. But I should take it back, because at least the pure rules, you get one strike. You get one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what? Like, can they give Shibata 1 PK, please?
Please. Yeah.
Please.
Zach says Inokiism.
I don't even know what that means in this regard, in this context.
Grandparents, at Vanguard, you're more than just a grandparent. You're the family historians. You fill your closets with heirlooms, family photos, and letters from long ago. You're always planning the next family reunion, even at the reunion. Because for you, time well spent is time spent on them. At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor. You're an owner. Because the future you're building is bigger than yourself. Discover the value of ownership at Vanguard.com. Fund shareholders own the funds that own Vanguard. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor.
I mean, we already got Hook now, so like we don't really need, Shibata. So like if he can't do it, like Hook is already kind of like, taking that spot. There's a lot of controversy about Hook on the Twitters this week.
Why?
Because of course Hook has been so over so long. People are bound to find something about the young man that they don't like, and apparently him no selling that power driver, the move the big man gave to him was enough to set people off and saying this is bullshit and all this other stuff. And it's a clear ode to Taz. No selling is fucking cool, by the way, when it happens. And it was like it had the internet on fire and all that. You saw the Hook in Bear Bronson match. What did you think of Hook? He also dropped a black version of his shirt during the show that says "Send Hook" and it's black and white.
Okay, so it was fine. It wasn't. He was impressive still in a different way. He sold more in this match. And he was impressed from the fact that he looks like being in there, he's able to lift the dude up. So, a dude that was that much bigger than him. So, like, it was able to show off that he's strong. So, yeah, like, that was cool. Him no selling the power driver, I popped. Like, I didn't pop like, oh my God. Like, it wasn't like watching, Raquel and Rhea no sell each other's shit. But it was like, I chuckled. I was like, that's fun. Like, I chuckled. I literally like, that's cool. You know, so this fucking power driver got right back on like he's Sting. So I laughed. Like, but not laugh like this is bullshit. I laughed like this is fun. So hearing that people complain about it is like, I mean, I guess, but
all the usual suspects, you can draw a line and figure it out.
But I would say like, yeah, man, like if that don't pop, if that don't fit your fancy for pro wrestling, then like, I'm sorry, like, you got the point of no selling is to show off the effects of selling any throughout the match anyway. Like, is it show that like your spirit will overcome certain things, right? Like, that is a story of like, for me personally, if you do not like someone no selling, obviously within reason, I'm not talking about, like what happened to Ricky Starks with Adam Page, where like his neck gets broken, he just stands right the fuck up because his neck was broken and he didn't know how to react. Mm-hmm. But like, I think within reason, if you're a person that like can't stand that, then like, I don't know what you're watching here. I don't know what you're here to watch. Like, I don't know, man. Like, people don't go down off everything they get hit with. That don't happen in real fight neither.
Yeah.
It shows how tough and cool someone is to be able to withstand that kind of damage and what kind of heart determination they are in a will to win. Like,
also, what has the entire presentation of Hook been? How tough and cool he is the whole time. Like, it has worked smashingly. He's like, the number one seller on Pro Wrestling Tees now, James.
Like, that stuff, like the stuff for me, like his whole, I guess, what the way people feel about him, I don't see it at all because he's a child to me. But at the same time, it's like, whatever. Like, he's impressive in the ring, so I don't care.
There are people writing Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame things based off people selling T-shirts. Like, why they should go in the Observer Hall of Fame.
God
like,
damn it. Don't start this. Don't start this.
on track to be a Hall of Famer, James.
You really starting this, huh? you really going there, huh?
So like, hey man, like there was this one phrase in the movie State Property, get down or lay down. Like when it comes to Hook, you gotta get down or lay down. Like it's shit. If you don't see it, you missed a wave already.
Right. And Bruce pointed this out. Great point. Hogan made millions no-selling punches, and then he hulked up. Yeah.
Yep.
Because of his indomitable spirit to want to win by being compelled and rooted on by his fans. It is wrestling psychology 101. Not fight psychology, wrestling psychology 101. Somebody wants someone to win, and then you defy odds by doing things that are superhuman, and then you overcome. Yeah. That's literally, not only is that pro wrestling, that is like anything with a protagonist in it that overcomes their obstacles, achieve their dreams or their goals.
I once saw the Macho Man Randy Savage have to wake Hulk Hogan up with a.
Was it 5? How many was it? 5?
I don't know. But he had to wake him up. So, like, people, like, I don't know if it's a case of, like, this is Hook-specific targeting, if this is AEW breaking people's brains, or a combination of all of those.
It's a lot of all of it, yeah, I imagine.
But, yeah, man, like, they're going to have to do more for me to get Hook out of here. Or he's going to have to do more than no-sell, sorry. Like, watch an Ishii match. Like, figure it out. Take a shower, hit the weights, get a clue.
All right, so where do you want to go from here?
Hit the music.
I was not expecting that one. Like, I thought that, like, maybe we had some TBS tournament stuff to talk about or whatever else, but whatever, let's just get to it. The catch up from where we last left off, we had a pay-per-view on the 18th. This one was the Osaka Super Wars. It was at, Indian Arena number 1. 5-match card is 2.5 hour show. Really quick show and it was weird because like I've always felt like Stardom match shows kind of breeze by, but like given it was 5 matches, like this one really just it felt like a takeover, to be honest with you. It felt like watching like a 2015 era NXT takeover. So the opener was Shuri in a gauntlet match versus Waka in Waka and Mai in Lady C. She went through all of them like a hot knife through butter and is winning. And then she put on commentary later. The second match was the artist champions, Mai Himipoi, Micah, Himeka, and Natsupoi versus Team Marvelous of Takumi Iroha, Rin Katakura, and Maria. And the selling point of Mai Himipoi throughout this show was that Micah's playing a peacemaker between Natsupoi and Himeka because Natsupoi was kind of upset that she was thrown into that Himeka was thrown into that triple threat match with Kamatani for the number 1 contender for the white belt, and she said like, you were just challenging for the SWA belt, and now you've just been thrown into like my thing, and like I have this thing with Tam that I want to get settled, and like now you're obstacle my way, and you don't even have a passion for the white belt. Like, why are you even here? That sort of thing. And she stormed off, and like Himeka, she felt her way about that. So they've been bickering through, like they bickered and kind of made peace for a minute during, or after that triple threat match, after, Lolo Nassapoi showed the heart of a lion by German suplexing the Giant, in the middle of that match. So, but they were still, but Himeka was still upset about being made fun of about saying she had no heart for this. So, like, she was like, you want to talk about heart? Well, then, like, let's put her in this 10 million yen tournament for the trios belts. Let's, for the 10 million yen trios ladder match, let's put our trios belts on the line to show you heart. And, she was looking at her like, you say I ain't got no heart, well, I put my fucking belt on the line, how about that? Like, I'll show you while they're also, like, on the same team, and, like, Natspoi's like, yeah, whatever you say, because, like, I'm kind of trying to mend this thing. So, throughout the match, or throughout both matches, because, the champions ended up winning and ended up going to the final round. Like, there were times where it malfunctioned at the junction. You're wondering, like, oh, this is going to be when it blows up in everybody's face and they all, like, just beat the shit out of each other. But they held it together in the first match. Really good match. Takumi is Takumi. She's always going to be Takumi. She's awesome. Her and Himeka, they had a match in Grand Prix. And they played on that. And ultimately, I forgot who lost, but I forgot who won the match, but they ended up pinning Maria. And the champions moved to the final round for the the elimination ladder match. So, second match was Cosmic Angels, the top three Cosmic Angels, the former Trios champions, versus this new look stars of Mayu with Hazuki and Kaguma. And they had a match, a Cosmic Angels and Stars match a little bit before, where where Hazuki and Tam went at it. And after they went to a draw, they teased like there's going to be a potential white belt match between the two. So, like, I'm super excited for that if and when it comes. So, like, you already know what this match is. It's going to be, Cosmic Angels doing their stuff. And it's going to eventually break down to a Tam and Mayu thing. And then they also threw in this Tam and Hazuki thing that was also great. And then the final stretch was Kaguma in there with Mina, and Mina's back. She's not crazy. That was just a one show thing. Yeah. So, like, I'm relieved. I'm relieved that's not a full thing. Like, that was gonna be, she's just crazy. Like, that was a one time thing. Tam got her to calm down. Got her back. Like, 50 Cent said, the young buck gotta get close. You gotta be close to me. Like, she got her back, close, and, like, they're good now. So anyway, Kaguma ended up catching Mina in a flash pin. So she was pinned, but she wasn't beat. And it looks like there's gonna be more of that, obviously, between those six. And so Stars ends up going to the main event of this show. And then some main event is the big Oedo Tai versus Queen's Quest match, based off of Starlight Kid and Momo's match from November on pay-per-view, late November on pay-per-view. And is elimination rules match called a Captain Falls match. So basically, like, it's elimination rules, almost like Survivor Series for those that don't know. But it also has over the top rope eliminations involved. And ultimately, it is a attrition match. First, and two people are designated captains. Momo's on her team is designated captain. Like, his designated a captain on her side. Basically, the match continues until either one's captain loses, and whichever captain lost ended up on the other person's side. Momo also added a stipulation that if Starlight Kid ended up on Queen's Quest, she was going to have to demask, and she was going to have to join the members. So, as we all expected, as we all assumed, because of course, Queen's Quest lost. Great match. And at the end, with Starlight Kid in there by herself against Azumi and Momo, and a chair gets brought in, and I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my god, Momo is going to, like, be my dumbass of the month. Like, she's going to be so furious and so fed up with all the interference and cheating, because they did a ref pull to avoid, Starlight Kid getting, she was dead to rights, and they pulled the ref at one point to keep the match extended. And I thought, like, she was going to be so pissed, and she was going to just basically, like, bash the chair over Kid's head, and then, like, oh my God, you fucking idiot, you ruined everything, and now you have to be evil. But instead, I'll go a different route. I'll wrestle for 20-25 minutes, and then I will then turn on my friend, my closest friend in the company. She bashed his chair over Azumi's head, and then she caught the ref twice with chair shots, and then she's laughing. Like, she said that, you know what? Go ahead.
Like, she was fighting to the death with Starlight Kid, and they were calling each other fat and all this other and ugly and all this other shit. Then, fuck it, I'm on this side now. Like, I think that's a little weak, but
so watching this live, I was in the Voices of Wrestling Joshi section, and their best replies anybody coming, because they were all coming, was because I told them how much I fucking hated when this happens, because it happened with Konami last year in October.
Zach said pull the Konami.
There you go. Their response was, well, they're in Osaka. It's only a hop and a skip away from Kobe. This is something they do in Dragon Gate all the time. Momo grew up watching Dragon Gate. The promotion has a lot of stuff, a lot of flavor from Dragon Gate, and Mayu is the head trainer, and she also got inspired to even start wrestling from Dragon Gate. And my response was, that's great. Tony Khan watched a lot of Memphis. He's not putting Memphis on his fucking television. I don't care. Like, I care to sit there, like, I get, it's nice to know where that came from. Now, I want you to never do it again. That was dumb. Outside of that, the match was awesome, though. So, there's that. So, depending on how you feel about that, and depending on how you spin it, it can also work. Because I've seen when Queen's Quest started, after Io turned on Mayu in the middle of the Tag League final. It was Mayu and Io versus Kairi and Yoko Bito, and then literally like 20-something. Sorry?
Think about that. It's like, what part of the plan was this? Like, you think they taught strategy before, trying to... Right. And then it's like, man, this something you don't even know that's coming.
Right. Yeah. Like,
double agent.
Real double agent. We're going to do this, and this. All right. And then and that's where my opening is, where I'm going to do this to you. Like, yeah, exactly.
Like, what if, the person turning was on the apron, and then, the other person snuck, a small package and got out of there? They got to wait. They can't do the turn. You
got to wait to a later date.
Oh, my God.
So, when it did in 2016 with Io and Mayu, at least Io had the presence of mind and the regulation to know that, this wasn't going to make much sense. And her response was, well, Mayu, ever since you got your title shot against me in the summer, I've been having to carry carry the burden of you ever since then in the tag team, and I'm done with you, and I turn on you in the middle of the match. At least she said that to be like, all right, whatever. That's better than... Look at your faces. I fooled you all. Even though we've all been fucking wrestling with each other, wrestling these people for months on end. We've been beating each other's ass, and now I'm going to join these people that I've been fighting and kicking their faces off for the last month and a half. So yeah. So for me, it's a no. Other people, they liked it more. Look, that shit was dumb. It was a great match. That shit was still dumb. So whatever. So Momo, she said, look at all y'all faces. I'm done with y'all. I'm tired of carrying you idiots, you morons. And now I get to do things on my own terms. This was inevitable, but I'm not doing this on my own terms. And I'm going to be, because Momo is Japanese for Peach. That's why all her moves are called, or Peach related, like Peach Sunrise, Peach Bomb. So now she's like, I'm going to be Oedo Tai's Black Peach. And Utami, true to herself, when B turned on Momo at the beginning of 2020, she was like, we can talk this through. We can try to, bring you back. I remember she saying, she got her first match with B, she was like, I'm going to try and bring her back into the fold in the Oedo Tai, like the day after that, the show after that happened. She was like, Momo, why are you doing this? Just talk to us. And she was like, get out. And then Kid was like, get out of here. And then Azumi was like, why? she's like, why Mama-chan? Why? And then Kid took the mic and kicked them both in the face like, stop asking why, you know why. She don't fuck with y'all no more. Get over it. And Kid was such a dick. It was fantastic. So, Oedo Tai right now, so they all took pictures with all of them, everything, and like they sent them off crying, and like it was, and like there's pictures backstage of Azumi just curled up, like in the aisleway, just crying as a dude looking over the top of her. This shit just sad, cause it's like that's my favorite tag teams in the world, and this shit gone now. So, yeah. So that was some of my main event. The main event was, as mentioned, the artist belts and also the 10 million yen ladder match, elimination match. So the rules were, it's elimination, but there was no over the top rope elimination. It was just, if you get pinned, get the fuck out, and but also like climb up the ladder, get the prize. So I did not know this until after Kaguma. We'll get to it, but match is really good. They start teasing like climb ups, and then people getting power bombed and suplex off the ladder, and then all of a sudden, shit starts getting hectic. Shit starts getting hectic. They are able to get Micah isolated on the mat with the other people on the floor. So like Mayu puts the ladder up in the corner, and then she climbs the ladders up in the corner, propping against the corner, while also having Kaguma and Hazuki holding the ladder at the bottom as support so it doesn't move. She climbs not to the second to last rung. She climbs all the way to the top, full on ism, and then moonsaults off the top of the ladder onto Micah and pins her, gets her out of there. Later on in the match, they set the ladder up where Kaguma also climbs to the top and gets her ism on, and she goes ladder set up like right against the ropes. She jumps off the top of that ladder onto people on the floor for her moment, her WrestleMania moment. And then by the end, Donald Armando regroups, and because the way it was set up, it was so high that like the only person that could realistically even reach it on the ladder would have been Himeka, but she couldn't reach it because she was just getting her ass whooped so much. So it took them having to clear everybody out, and then it took Natsupoi on one side and Himeka on the other, with like Himeka having to like help hold Natsupoi at the top to reach up to go grab it while basically being on like the second to last rung or the top rung to do it. And it was a nice moment, and they end up coming down and they hugged each other, and I was like, true friendship. $80-some thousand dollars? That'll solve and patch up some friendships for now. So I was really happy for them. It was a nice moment. They had tears, and they were able to kind of reconnect and everything. So like so they basically, now they have 3 defenses under their belts, and they're going to defend at Sumo Hall on the 29th against basically the Stars team they had, except no Tam with Mai Sakurai. So that's an easy dub right there. So that was the pay-per-view, and then we end up getting the Christmas show. So Christmas show was basically like the old Shinkiba Hall type show, where like this is like a TV. This wasn't a pay-per-view. We're on the no guys are giving you a pay-per-view. This is a TV show.
I like this show. I
did too. But like last year, I was wondering, like, we're doing a lot of Korakuen Halls. Like Korakuen Hall is a lot less special feeling, because like those used to be where the pay-per-view level shows were. So I was wondering, like, what is the transition? Are they watering down these shows? And the answer is like, not watering down these shows. These are just the Shinkiba shows, except in Korakuen Hall now. So like, view them as like their version of Monday Night Raw, right? So, I don't really know how to go through it, but like, real quick thing, like, triple threat match on the opener. It was Mina, Death, and Hannon. Hannon ends up rolling up Death, to get her a win going into, Sumo Hall for her future belt match. I think it's the second match on the card against, Roaka. I'm trying to think, what's the next match after that? Was the next match after that the Himeka and Lady C match?
Yes.
Yeah, so Himeka and Lady C versus, I want to say, I can't remember who it was. It's my life me right now. Versus, okay, like I said, still, versus Rock and Rena. The Giants end up quickly dispatching of the teenagers, the 15-year-old and the 17-year-old. One thing of note, Himeka has lost a lot of weight. She is slimming down. She is on like the Chris Statlander plan. If I were to guess, I think a push is coming. And
We'll
rightfully deserved. Like, she's good. So,
it's like when you see Randy Orton start popping up, looking a little bit more trim.
Indeed. So, then third match, Stars top 3, Mayu, Hazuki, Kaguma versus Tam in the new Mina, in the new Nagi. These two geeks, Maya and Waka. Match, starting the match, and it's Waka in there with Mayu, and her and Hazuki basically take turns off of Waka's ass, and they beat the shit out of her, and then Tam gets in there and she's equalizing it, and then everyone gets in, and then eventually you get down to a Mayu's down, and Tam gets in for a hot tag, and they're fighting. It's great like it normally is, and then eventually you end up getting Hazuki and Tam in there. They're great too. Another great exchange between them two, and I'm thinking like they gotta have a match. They gotta have a white belt match. So they end up fighting to a draw. They end up getting Kaguma in there with, I want to say Waka, and Kaguma ends up winning with the top rope splash. The big bear splash, gets the win. In these pay-per-views and the undercard, dark matches or whatever else, or the first match on the card of late, like last 2 or 3 pay-per-views, you've had masked goons show up with sledgehammers and just attack Waka and Mai. And first it was one of them, and then one pay-per-view was 2 of them, and then at this show it was 3 of them. And they're attacking, and then, I'm thinking, okay, they're just attacking Mai and Waka because that's what they do, and eventually, we're going to figure out who they were. Then they start attacking Tam, and one of them hits Tam with a sledgehammer. And then Mayu's kind of like, I kind of want to get the fuck out of here. They ain't got shit to do with me. They're attacking y'all. That's y'all. So then eventually, Mayu gets in the way and thwarts it. And then Tam had no-so that, no-so your whole ass sledgehammer hit, and Mayu and Tam get back together and unite for a double stereo super kick, and super kicks one of their masks off. And under the mask, like, I don't know how to properly convey this. I'm gonna say it was Julie underneath the mask. And I was like, do you remember Jim Ross's call when, like, Ric Flair got unmasked as the Black Scorpion in that cage match?
Oh, it's Ric Flair.
He's like, son of a bitch, it's Ric Flair. I can't believe this shit. This motherfucker's doing this. When they took that mask, when they kicked their mask, I was like, it's fucking Julie. I can't fucking believe this shit. You goddamn terrorist.
Black Scorpions.
Yeah. So, Tam was like, you? What the fuck? And Julie is like, yeah, like,
it's me. I'm evil.
Yeah, exactly. I'm evil. She's like, yeah, you brought these 2 geeks in here. They're not holding up the end of the bargain. I done brought in some of my own talent, and they're gonna wipe
the floor with y'all.
Yeah, they'll be the antagonists for y'all because I'm evil. And she said, like, this goes for anybody. Anyone can get it. We are now 7 deep in Donald Del Mondo. I was like, God damn.
Real gang.
They already over pushed. Now there's 7 of them. Fuck.
Hey, I seen the preview of this new photo book with it had the Donald Del Mondo squad.
Yep.
And it had
Cosmic Angel side.
Cosmic Angel. I was like, and I saw, like, in quotations, sexy Shuri in there, like, and it was just like, I don't this don't compute with the image I know.
Right, like, why are you dressing up like this killing machine, right? Like,
yeah, like what is this? You know.
Oh man. Yeah, so
Look, it is photo book season.
I don't know if it actually is photo book season. I think they normally drop those in the summer, I think, because, well, I'm assuming they drop in the summer because, like, swimsuit normally, connotes summer. They were like, nah, we got 10 to put on. We got 2 editions. We got the Donna Del Mondo. We got the Squeeze. We got the Cosmic Angels. We know what y'all want, and we about to go to Sumo Hall. We about to sell every single copy of these things to you marks. So, yeah, so that's where they ended up at, where you end up getting, like, 2 new members will be unmasked eventually. I'm assuming it's going to be on, like, their Korakuen Halls, maybe even as early as Sumo Hall. We'll see. Semi-main event, you end up getting Konami and Shuri tagging for the first time in Stardom together versus Maika and Unagi. And the pre-match is funny as fuck. So, Maika don't like Unagi. Unagi is playing deeply into her indomitable spirit, unwaveringly morning person-y vibes of just like, I'm so happy for every single thing, and like, this is going to be the best day ever. And I said that yesterday, but I really believe today is going to be the best day ever. And like, Maika just kind of like, she gives the vibes like, it's too early for this shit. Well, Maika, it's 6 p.m. It's too early to deal with her ever. So
that shit was so hilarious.
It was funny.
Now he's like, yeah, I am the flying freak or some shit like that. Like,
and then like in low tones that she's yelling, like, right, like Maika's like, shut up. She's like, shut up, just shut up.
Is this? Like,
yeah. So Unagi comes out, gets her entrance, and then like she has like reindeer antlers on her head, like the headband deal, and then Maika's music hits, and then next thing you know, Unagi has ran out the ring to the entrance at Korakuen Hall to throw them shits on Maika, and Maika has like a elf hat on her headband, and I'm just like, this tough judo ass kicking body throwing woman got this goofiness on, and she's like no selling it, and it's fucking hilarious. It's like, imagine if you had put that shit on Ishii's head.
Yes.
It's like the same vibes. So they get in the ring, and all 4 of them get in the ring, and like they have a really good match. I don't know if I say it was great, but I think it was a really good match, and ultimately at the end, they end up doing some spots where like they both do like hanging arm bars on Maika and Unagi, and then ultimately you end up getting Shuri in the ring with, sorry?
Shuri had Unagi stretched out.
Yep, in that same freaking, I think she calls it White Tiger. Like, it's basically that stretch muffler, elaborate stretch muffler she does when she traps someone's arm way back with the leg. So, as that's happening in the background, you see that Mike is trying to go break up the submission, but like Konami grabs her and throws her in a triangle answer. So like double submission, they get the win. And another person that I've noticed lost weight, like, and this is particularly since she got sick with enteritis, is like Konami is like, she's lost a lot of weight. And like, it is kind of weight where I was concerned, but like the way that they are talking, like they all expect her to be back. That's the way it seems all positive, seems all happy. And they're always talking about like, I'll be back and all that kind of stuff. So like, I'm glad. I mean, it gives me a good feeling that like something bad is not going to happen. So I'm happy from that perspective. But like, Konami's lost a lot of weight. So so that was the end. And Konami and Shuri basically like are super respectful for each other and talk real nice about each other's relationship. And then they walk off into the sunset. And then the main event is the remaining top 3 of Queen's Quest, Utami, Azumi, and Kamitani versus Black Peach, Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, and Saki. And so the big reveal is similar to the first Korakuen Hall after Budokan Hall on the 3 days after Budokan Hall, where it's like, what is Julie gonna look like with a shaved head, right? It's like, what is Momo gonna look like? And she comes out in, like, to my eye, it looks like she's just wearing a cut up souped up, oedo tie, black shirt. She's dyed her hair all black. She has like colored lenses in that look like I think they're yellow maybe? I don't know, but they're colored lenses. And she's basically wearing, from what I can tell to my eye, are like her kick pads and shorts from like her early 2000s, 2019 gear. And then like Konami's last set of gear, the knee pads off Konami's last set of gear. And I'm just like,
what the fuck is this?
I was like,
I was like, apparently Momo has not been given the number for the evil gear maker yet.
Right.
Like, she was out here
looking poor. She was looking like she did not have enough money to make this work.
So I think bad decisions were made. Like, you can't properly dress yourself off the rip.
Right.
Like you knew you was turning.
Right. So I voiced my concern to the folks in the Voice of Wrestling Joshi's Discord section of the Discord, and they were like, well, there was video of them showing up at the place where they make a lot of the women's gear in Stardom, and my response is like, I just think that like they're saving whatever she is going to wear for Sumo Hall, like, because my thing is like, Momo's had good looking gear the last the last year and a half, like all the gold stuff she's been wearing lately. I was like, you went from wearing like gold leaf to look to this. There's been a clear backtrack. Do you want to? You should apologize to Utami and Azumi and Kamatani and hope that they will take you back,
just so you can wear the old wear.
Right. Right. Like, this was a mistake. This is a backtrack. So we'll see what happens.
Hopefully she pulls her real shit out, because nah, man, like, you can't come out here looking like worse than Koguma. Like, no. Like, no. Like I know, like, and we know Koguma steals, so we know Koguma's poor. So like, man, like you can't do that. Like, that's already covered. Like, we got to get you in some heel flyness. You know, can SOK hit her with the phone number, or is this part of the initiation? Like, you must start from the bottom. You know, you must dress, you know, in humble wear, you know? In humble wear. Oh, man. That's when you earn your evil stripes. So, they gotta make sure they can trust her.
Yeah, I guess. So they had a match in, like, the match.
Dante Martin.
Say again?
Make sure she's not like Dante Martin, you know?
So,
work her way up. Yeah.
So the match is good as hell. Ultimately, by the end, you end up getting, because it wasn't an elimination match, regular rules match. So at the end, they go down a closing stretch, and it's Azumi in there with Saki after you have multiple moments of them getting so much heat on Azumi and Azumi having to fight back, and you having a lot of big moments with Momo and Azumi. It makes me believe like they're headed towards them actually having some type of special singles match type of deal, which would be really cool. Or at least, you know, maybe not on pay-per-view, but at least at like, you know, one of these Korakuen Halls or one of these Tama no Kata or Takada no Bata shows in like another part of Tokyo that's like where they have like where they do it in a nice ballroom. Like that's where they did the Momo and Shuri SWA match at the end of January this year. So anyway, because that's on the schedule for December or for January. Anyway, at the end you end up going down a stretch with Saki and Azumi, and Azumi seemingly like she's gonna have this match won, but then like Momo like interrupts the action and like suckers Azumi into like getting Azumi to like think that like she's still like might care about her, and then like Saki just immediately pins her with a flash crucifix pin and pins her.
When I saw that shit, I was like, she did not lose to Saki. Like, right. She kicked her in the fucking head, and then like Azumi was on the ground. Her head was like on the ground. It was just like
she was dead to rights.
She just rolled over. Like essentially, it was like I'm defeated by heartbreak.
Yeah. So and then you know Momo starts bullying Azumi or more and tells him like I'm gone. Don't even try it. And then like Azumi gets on the mic and she's like furious. Like can't believe I got fucking suckered into losing again. Like there's no more Momo-chan. Like next time I get in the match, I'm beating your ass. So then they end up doing
Is Azumi saying she gonna beat somebody ass funnier or like than like Sammy Guevara, like when he be talking about I would beat your ass? Like, is it like funnier or no? Like,
it is funnier because like Azumi like
at least Sammy can jump off something real high, you know, to beat your ass or something.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Azumi will make you eat like 1,000 feet. That's not the point. It's just like
she'll roll you up.
You're so small. You're so small. You're so small. Like don't get me wrong.
Hit you with some high speed stuff and beat your ass.
Yeah, like the vicious beat. Like it don't land the same as like Tam telling Mayu before going to Osaka Joe that like I will mess you up more than anyone's ever messed you up before. And then they go out there and they have a fucking slugfest for 30 minutes. It's not the same thing. It just don't feel the same at all. So yeah. So then they end up showing the recap montage of like the whole year of Stardom, and then like they to cap it off by showing you like going into Sumo Hall, you're going to get Kamitani versus Tam for the white, but you're going to get obviously the rematch of the year that people have been waiting for 6 months, Utami versus Shuri. So from there, I guess we just go to a basically preview that show because it's going to be on Wednesday morning. So first match, a 5-way. It is Saki, Waka, Lady C. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Bear with me. It would be cool if like I knew that we were doing a show and I was going to talk about certain things, so I already had this pulled up ahead of time. Wouldn't that be cool?
No.
It's like how do you have this pulled up? You already know you're going to talk about it. So yeah. Like I said, 5-way match. Lady C versus Waka versus Saki versus Death versus Rina. I think there's a great chance that whoever wins this, it doesn't really matter because like with Waka in here and with Lady C, he had to get one in. In Lady C, it's two people that like the Goon Squad has jumped on before, the Masked Goon Squad has jumped on before, and then like with people like Saki and Death and Rina, they can just jump them. They don't care. And as Julie's already mentioned, anyone can get it now. I was just only picking on Tam's friends because I'm a jerk. I will also it's on site for everybody, so I can see I can see the swarm I can see the Suwoo swarm like a red ant pile. So yeah, it could be that and like they beat all 5 of their asses with the weapons, and then the 2 or 3 or however many people they eventually have on this thing unveil at Sumo Hall. So yeah, that's the potential to happen. I think I'll end up taking Death just because like it'd be funny. Like, but it. Actually, no, I'll take Lady C. I like Lady C. I think she's gonna be good. I just enjoy the fact that she be out here rapping. Do you know about Lady C and the rapping, Rich?
I don't.
So, because her name is Lady C, when she cuts promos backstage, her stuff, a lot of stuff she says rhymes with C or she, and then as she's doing it, she'll be like this: she, C. So she out here rapping, Rich.
Oh my god!
So yeah, I'll take Lady C for the big win, and then after that we gonna see. So second match, Future of Stardom belt, Waka versus Hannon. I think this is Hannon's to win. There's really not much of a place for Waka to go after this. I mean, she could start wrestling her own stablemates like Rina, but I don't know if. How interesting that would be. As far as the other Hannon twin, I can't remember the last time I saw her. I don't know what's going on. There might be a situation where there's something going on with like junior to high school placement, because that happened with Hannon and that happened with Hannon and Waka actually like last year, where it's like they basically like based on what you want to do in life and where they're tracking you academically, you can end up going to different high schools or whatever else. So like, and that takes a while. So like, that might be happening with her right now, but not with Rena, but just this one particular twin. So, because we haven't seen her in a while, or maybe she's injured, but I haven't heard about her being injured. I feel like I would have heard that. So, I think it's Hannah's to win. They also, like Rossi has said for a while, like he thinks that like the three sisters are going to be like the big stars of the future.
Rossi keeping one eye on the future.
Yeah. So then third match, triple threat match for the high speed belt. It is a champion Starlight Kid versus her career rivals. Azumi, a person that she had just ruined emotionally. And also in it will be Kaguma. Kaguma, you better show up to Sumo Hall with new gear.
Yes. Do not come in here with that blue and that gray. Like, no. You know, and if you do come in there with that, it needs to be shiny, metallic, you know.
Another part is like, you know, she came in and she had put on weight since she had last retired. Like, she's lost weight since then. So, like, it just makes sense for her to get new gear that actually fits, like, what she's, you know, like, and show off, like, you know, the body goals that she's attained since coming back to Stardom. Like, bro, she's lost a...
Why do I feel like Kaguma, like, I feel like she's like Emi Sakura's daughter.
They do look kind of similar. Yes, like, I never thought about that till now.
I was watching that today.
They do look a lot alike, and then also because they have like the brown hair with no like real, you know, really like any kind of like it's just been like this is how their hair is. Like down. It's just normal straight. I was gonna say straight, but like their hair is naturally straight. But like you're right, there is a resemblance between those two. Yeah,
like in 20 years, she's gonna look just like Sakura.
All right, so yeah, I'm expecting another great high speed defense from Starlight Kid. I expect another great high speed match from Azumi. I expect another great high speed match from Kaguma. I feel like, you know, while I wish that for this particular setting it would have just been Azumi and Kid alone to show the progression from last year, from their October high speed match they had last year, but this match will still be great, and there's still time to get to that eventually anyway, and this also helps prolong the story to getting through, like, this upcoming Queen's Quest versus Oedo Tai thing that's going to be happening, obviously. So, yeah, I expect a great match. I'm going to take Starlight Kid pinning Kaguma again.
Same. Get ready for all the gifts from this match.
Yeah. You're going to see all the high-speed action and great stuff. You will see a lot of it in this. Yeah. Even more so than the Azumi and Natsupoi Budokan Hall match. Next match after that, the defending trios champions, Mai Himepoi, Donna Del Mondo, Maika, Himeka, and Natsupoi versus Cosmic Angels, the Mina, the Unagi, and the Mai. Match this... After you get the second
list.
match. Sorry?
The list.
Oh my god. After you this man's ridiculous. After you get past the Futures belt, this is the match you expect to be the least good, but given the growth of Mina and Unagi, especially in tag matches with that murderer's row of Mai Himepoi, like I've seen enough with Mai and Waka to know that like they can be hidden in Cosmic Angels tag matches and they can still have good matches. So this match, I have no doubt it will still be good. How good is what will be interesting. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how good this match can be given this slot on the card, and this could be a I think if this gets 3.5 stars, it will be a success. A complete success, total success. But I'm thinking like 3.25. Mm-hmm. Obviously, though, the Dynamo model will retain. Special singles match. The return of Julia versus the Matane of Konami. It's not a goodbye. She will be back. This match is going to... Sorry?
Get Julia some heat.
Look, we know who's going to win. We know who's going to lose. That's not the point. They're going to have a great match, and if it is anything like their white belt match from November of last year, we are in store for like a violent treat. Like Murder Konami may come out. She might be out here, hitting people with closed fists to the head, on top of the head, punching that clock like an alarm clock. Might see that, but it's gonna be the first.
Be bringing her friends.
Sorry.
Will Julia be bringing her friends?
I don't think they would need that. But either way, this is gonna be a good ass match, and this is where we start kicking this cart in overdrive right here. At worst, it's gonna be a good ass match. I think it's gonna end up being a great match. Then you end up getting the special 10-year anniversary of Stardom tag match. Takumi Iroha and Mayu Iwatani versus Momo Watanabe and Hazuki.
Anytime it's Takumi Iroha on the board, sign me up. One Nation Radio's own sponsored athlete.
So, I think that the floor for this is 4.5 stars.
All right. I think
they're probably going to end up at like in that 4 3/4 star range. Like this has a lot of the elements at play with Kagetsu's last big match in Stardom with her and Mayu versus Jungle and Momo match. You got one half of that thing. Another part about this is like this is that 2014 Stardom clique, like Hazuki and Mayu and Takumi were all in that clique with like Io and Azumi and Yoshiko. Like they've been talking about this kind of match on this kind of stage for like damn near 7 years. Momo was like came a little after that, but like Momo's first match in Stardom I think may have been with Takumi. So like this is they're going to bring it. So this is like
yeah. Zach says Momo's going to eat that running 3.
Could be. Yeah. I if you were to ask me what happens, I'd imagine something
might be a running 6.
Oh, her and Mayu both going double run. God damn it! You know how mad like the Western fans that would be like. They're so happy that like Momo just turned heel because it's like now she gets slotted further up the card, track further up the card, and because it's only like really like 3 heels worth of damage or 2 heels worth of damage Stardom. Now she be the third, and like they beat her immediately. They'd be mad.
Have Takumi Iroha do it.
That'd be even worse.
I want it.
I think draws running all over this. To be honest with you, I think time limit draws running all over this. I think you're getting a 20-minute time limit draw. However, I don't care. This match is gonna be awesome.
Get beat up raw.
I don't disagree, but who are you supposed to beat?
Be Hazuki. She already had a title challenge.
I think that she's being okay. So that's the only loss she's taken. That's the only time she's been pinned. She's been back.
Yeah.
So, remember, they're
trying to get one last draw in before the year's over. They're trying to score one at the buzzer.
Well, maybe, but all I know is I know Takumi and Mayu ain't losing. I know that.
Right.
I know that for a fact. So, like on the other end, it's like I don't know who's going to win, right? But let's say you leave out of Sumo Hall with Utami and Tam both still the champions. Momo's an easy plug-in challenger for Utami in the future. And then same thing for Hazuki with Tam. So like it's I can like if I see that match, I'm like, that match gonna be awesome. Draw. So sorry, I just see it. I just see a draw on it. A 20-minute time limit draw. Absolutely. So some main event. White belt match. Tam Nakano versus Saya Kamatani. Their first match. Their first white belt match was, while still good as hell, not as good as it could have been. And a lot of that is due to the fact that Natsuko messed up her Kamitani's ribs doing a high spot. So, like the week of. So, as you saw in their Grand Prix match, they just went at it and went balls to the wall and they killed it. It had a better match. As time passed and Kamitani had healed up some. So, there's been a combination of sorts of getting to this point where, like, Kamitani, in theory, in time anyway, this sounds about the right time, timing wise. However, they have not booked her like she has a chance in hell. So I am going I'm going to believe that Kamitani is going to beat Tam, but it will be in 6 months. It will not be here. It would be the weirdest booking, one of the weirdest booking things they've done all year if they were to make Kamitani the champion after they just pinned her on pay-per-view, like three of the last 4 pay-per-views, and then like two of the last 4 shows she got pinned.
They got all her opponents set up. They got all her opponents set up in the future. I'm calling the title switch. Time to switch the belt. Get it on Kamitani and off to the races.
Yeah. I think the same thing, but in 6 months. But this will undoubtedly be their best match that they ever have. They're both healthy. Then they're going to get the time, and they're going to kill each other.
Look, and Tam got that win over with Tommy in her back pocket, and she can just, I don't know, man, but I don't know. I'm predicting a title change there too, so I don't know. Man.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so personally,
a lot is up in the air.
Yeah, it could definitely go either way with the white belt and the red belt match, right? Like, this is Tam's biggest threat since Mayu. But the way they left it with Mayu is like they're going to get back to that. Hazuki could be a way to get back to that. Also, you also have a potential where Takumi could challenge for white belt. I don't know if they would do that or whatever else, but like because she beat Tam in the white belt. Like, there's a lot of. I'm not going to say that phrase. There's a lot of stuff left to get to on the Tam's title reign if they want to. I don't think beating either one of them is a mistake. But I would, if you're going to beat, if you're going to put the belt on Kamitani, you need to go back in time and unlose her to matches because that shit was dumb. Now main event, the main event of all main events.
It is time.
The red belt, the World of Stardom Championship match, the rematch from the June 12th 43-minute draw, then double knockout match. Utami Hayashida versus Shuri. I don't really have much to say, but as far as like how awesome this match is going to be, I don't have enough depth with words to describe how awesome this match is going to be. I just know that like this will be the match where we finally get a decisive winner and inclusion to this feud from now, or at least a closing of this chapter. And it's been fun as hell to watch. One of my 3 or 4 favorite feuds in the history of Stardom since watching Stardom 2019, watching them go at it and kill each other, dating back to the first their first match at the final night of last year's Grand Prix final. And
man, Zach is being a terrorist in the comments. Terrorist.
I see that. So they're gonna kill it. They're gonna go like 45 minutes. Maybe even they go an hour. They have enough to do it. There's no time limit. You got to worry about a double draw. There will be a winner in this. And I think the appropriate thing to do at this point is to put the belt on Shuri. Utami has had the belt since mid-November 15th of last year. She's had, I think this is her 10th defense. We do not believe that this is her last defense, right? Or this is not her last reign, right?
I would think she's going to get another one if it's been this good.
Yeah. there have been people that have speculated, or thinking that, like, you know, she's going to break the EO defense record, and that's like 13 or 14, some shit like that. And it's like, nah, her second reign, yeah, this was a success. You move her on, and you get her into the Oedo Tai stuff with the rest of them. And you know, eventually make them the trios champions or whatever else, and figure out like a new status quo for Queendom Quest without Momo involved. And then you put Shuri, who for a lot of the shows this year was third from the top. You put her at the top, and you basically just watch the stars fall from the ceiling or out the sky for the next 9 months or so, or maybe more.
Shuri has been, we've talked about it on this show. I think she's been the best women's wrestler in the world this year. I think she is the best women's wrestler in the world. One of the best wrestlers in the world. That's not the slight of Tommy at all. But all these other matches have done, this hasn't made me want to see Tommy finally put her away. No. Like, this is Shuri time.
Yep.
And any other finish, I think, is not great. I feel like the red belt should be around the other woman with the red gear. Like, and, you know, it would be a great, like, rise, the rise of Shuri this year. We'll when we look back and look at the tapestry, you know, look at the opponents, look at the story, look at the fight that this woman has gone through. And, you know, literally from the beginning of the year, I was like, man, Shuri and Momo, that's going to be fucking great. And then, like, she has kept going month by month. And, you know, they had their big match in June. Lots of critical acclaim on it. And all eyes are on this match. And I don't think they're going to fuck it up. I don't think they're going to, like, underachieve. Like, they know, like, the world is watching them. Like, and, you know, it's almost like that second round, like, that pressure, like, where you're like, man, Okada and Omega, are they going to, like, do it again? Like, and then, like, the match happens, is like, of course they could fucking do it again. Like, they're fucking Okada and Omega. And then, like, I think this is going to be similar to that. No time limit is going to give them as much time to do whatever they want. And I'm predicting a new champion here, but, like, even if this is the end of the road for Tommy, man, there are a lot of podcasters I think need to eat their fucking words. They need to, you know, erase their takes, you know, completely destroy the audio, because I think people are sounding crazy when it comes to talking about Tommy. Like, you look at what this woman did, taking the belt off the Icon, like, and that shit is never easy, like, to win. All right, we're going from, like, the fucking, like,
the top star in the company still.
Yeah, the history, the damn near almost the history of the promotion at this point. Like, you're going there, and it's to you. You're new at the main event level, and then you're gonna hold that shit for a year, and they're gonna throw people at you like Sai Kamatani in, like, one of their big shows and whatever, and then you fucking figure it out anyway. Like, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna have Shuri coming out here, and, like, and you gotta not get lost. Like, she has been absolutely incredible. If this is the end of the road for her, like, she damn near deserves a eulogy for her shit. How I wrote, like, one for Kenny or whatever. Like she's just been, like, a credit to Stardom and, like, a great representative, like, to really growing into looking like you're somebody. Like, and I think Okada did this very well. He, like, just looked like he was somebody with that belt, and she, much in the way he did, look somebody with that red belt. Like, it feels like it's a part of her, and it would be different to not see her with it. But, like, Shuri is more than worthy.
Yeah. Me personally, these were the two best women wrestlers in the world, and by saying they're two best women wrestlers, I don't mean just for women. I mean, like, they had two of the 5 or 4 best years in pro wrestling in the ring. They just did. They killed it. Both of them all year long. Like, they give you an example of how, like, absolutely impressive, Utami had, and sure, you have both been this year. Like, you gotta look no further than, like, the number 3 person that's starting this year in the ring, Tam Nakano. And we're talking about doing year-end stuff and, putting together, looking at people's match guides, try to figure out, like, what we thought, and then, like, if there's anybody we possibly missed, by just taking a little gander and, start looking and searching through, top matches, whatever else. You look at Tam Nakano's 2021 match guide, and then you look at Nick Jackson's 2021 match guide. They're, like, identical, except Tam has more 7s in it because she's wrestled more. Like, she is a distant third compared to these two. Like, that is the level of, like, that is the level that these two have been on, like, from day one of the year, or from the first show on, and, like, in any situation they've been put in, tag matches, trios matches, singles matches, like the Grand Prix, they both killed it, and Shuri put on a legendary performance in the Grand Prix. Like, I haven't looked at where people put the G1 MVP level this year, but, like, I'm pretty sure Shuri was at that level or surpassed it this year. Like, that's the kind of G1, that's kind of a Grand Prix she had. Like, she had over a 4-star average for me in the Grand Prix. And then, like, her last 2 matches, like, on the same night, 20 minutes apart, 25 minutes apart, 4 3/4 and then 4 3/4 again, just super fucking impressive. And the first match was a 20-minute draw. Like, she's fucking ridiculous. Like, at this point now, and every time I see someone that's really awesome, I'm just thinking, like, I want to see them wrestle Shuri. Bryan Danielson goes out there for an hour and spends, like, 45 to 48 minutes of it absolutely beating the shit out of Adam Page. And I'm just like, put him in there with Shuri. Let's see if that shit happens with Shuri. Like, I'm ready to see this title change. I'm ready to see this match, and I've been waiting for 6 months. And, like, we talked about this thing as far as, like, when it happened, we were like, we fucking hated it because we knew that, like, we were going to get sucked into this match and wanted to see it happen. And goddamn it, we were days away from it. And, like, I can't wait for this to happen. Like, I remember, on Twitter, people do the content farming or the engagement farming stuff where, like, what are your, favorite matches you want, or most anticipated matches of 2021 for the second half of the year. And, like, after wanting to see Tam and Mayu just fucking do it. Like, I remember, I was going through trying to edit, compilate the, best of 2021 One Nation Radio stuff. And we talked about that first, Mayu and Tam match. You were like, look, man, this match is awesome. It's more like Mayu just like, hey, man, do you want to fucking do it? Do you want to fucking, like, I just want to see them two get in the ring and be like, hey, do you just want to fucking go? Like, we've been doing this and beating the shit out of each other in all sorts of different ways for literally most of the year, with some breaks in between. Like, let's culminate this shit. Let's find out finally who's the best between these two. Put somebody the fuck away, and, like, somebody gets to walk off. And that's the end of the chapter for now. I'm really juiced for this one, and, like, I can't wait to be up at, I don't know, God knows what's hour in the morning on Wednesday. Like, I don't know, it's like 4 or 5 or whatever. Who gives a fuck? 5 a.m. in the morning and watch this shit on the edge of my seat, because, like, after watching that match 43 minutes, I don't know what the fuck them two have to do to each other to put the other one away. Like, a new finish might have to get broken out. A whole just, like, we might see some shit that, like, beats the freaking, violet screwdriver shit that beat one of these two. Someone might have to drop right on their dome and they still might kick out at 1. So that's where I'm in. I'm hyped. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, I need Sherry to tie all 3 belts together.
Yeah, Triple Crown.
Yeah, the new Triple Crown.
Triple Crown with a tag belt wrist. How real is that? But yeah, so this is gonna be fun. Like, whatever they want to do, I'm good with it. I just need somebody beaten finally in this thing, and we could close the chapter on either one of them of their feud for now and go back to it later. But they have been awesome all year long. They have been awesome all year long.
Indeed. Man, it's a great place to leave it.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening, y'all.
Donations. Gifts.
Yes. And also be sure to if you haven't listened to it, our FOH draft, we have a link to it in our feed that has a teaser to give you all a taste of what the festivities were that night. So be sure to go ahead and check down and give that a listen.
Payhip.com/social suplex.
Okay, there you go. I was going to tell you to go that way because I didn't remember how it was. So yeah, either one is how you can find it. Be sure to rate some order app you're using. Listen this with. Be sure to go to. Well, I don't know if I can even do that right now. They are taking people's credit card information right now. They are security breach. Yeah. We'll pause on that for now. We'll pause on that. We'll pause the Pro Wrestling Tees plug for now. Y'all on the naughty list. Y'all on the naughty list right now. Since I
heard like more than 31,000 people have been affected by this.
Yeah.
So
get y'all some Adam Cole for Christmas.
Yes.
So be sure to listen to the other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, Keepin It Strong Style, the Ricky Clive Wrestling Show, Grown Men Watch This Shit, the Grave Consequences Podcast, 8-Bit Suplex, All Things Elite, Great Match Generator, and AEW Match Guide. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.
Cancer. So many lives are touched by cancer. In fact, 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer. At the American Cancer Society, we're on a mission to free the world from cancer. It's a big mission, driven by little things like a ride to treatment, a free place to stay, a 24/7 helpline. But these little things are really the big things, because to a cancer patient and their family, they're everything. And every day we reach thousands of cancer patients who so desperately need these services. But we need your help to get these critical services to more people and families in need this holiday season. Go to cancer.org and join the fight against cancer. It takes just minutes to donate and help provide essential support to cancer patients and their families. Don't wait. More than 1 in 3 people will be diagnosed with cancer. Go to cancer.org right now and make a difference. Go to cancer.org.